Hello everyone. In previous video we have studied Bryophyta, plant kingdom Bryophyta. It is division and these are the two classes, liverworts and mosses. We have completed liverworts in previous video and now today we will study features of mosses. Before starting features of mosses, we will revise a little basic features of Bryophyta. They are the amphibians of plant kingdom, commonly called amphibians of plant kingdom because they need a film of water for fertilization. Their male gametes are flagellated. They swim in water and reach up to female gamete. May be located within the same thallus or on the other thallus. Then they grow in cool, shady and damp places. Their main dominant phase in their life cycle is gametophytic. Gametophytic means which bears gametes. And independent phase which is sporophyte is dependent on the gametophyte phase. Another important feature of Bryophyta is they have thallus-like organization. Thallus organization means their body is undifferentiated. They are not having true root, stem and leaf-like structures. Mosses consist of a leafy gametophyte. They also grow in cool, shady and damp places, and their structure or their plant body is also called thallus because thallus consists of leafy gametophyte, but leaves are not true leaves. They are the simple leaves and it consists of unicellular or multicellular rhizoids. Rhizoids are the root-like structures, but they are not true roots. They perform the function of roots, that is providing anchorage to the plant body, as well as they are helping in the absorption and water and minerals. I mentioned one more thing, that they do not have vascular tissue, vascular system like xylem and phloem. Instead, they consist of a conducting tissue, and that tissue consists of parenchyma cells, and those parenchyma cells help in the process of transport of water and minerals. If you will see the structure of this leafy gametophyte, it is a very small plant which consists of rhizoids below the surface of under the soil, and this it consists of very small leaflets structures which do not have any true organization like leaf, and this leafy gametophyte when produces sporophyte, that is also dependent on it and remains attached to this main plant body. It is the structure which is producing sporophyte covered with a cam. Here consists of more leaves. This part of the plant is called gametophyte, and these are rhizoids, root-like structures, rhizoids. This part which is embedded stalk in the leafy gametophyte is called foot. This one is called seta and this one is called capsule. Foot, seta and capsule, these are the three parts of sporophyte. Sporophyte formation takes place after the fusion of male and female gametes, or after sexual reproduction. When zygote is formed, zygote develops into embryo and embryo forms this sporophyte. So gametophyte has independent existence, and these leaf-like structures, they are green, and because of that they are autotrophic. So gametophyte has independent existence in this plant, but sporophyte is dependent on the gametophyte. This is sporophyte on capsule. It is at main fertile part. These are two sterile parts, supporting parts, and capsule is the fertile part, and it produces spores. Gametophyte means gamete bearing body. Gamete bearing body. That means gametophyte undergoes sexual reproduction. Another feature of this plant is that gametophyte produces two types of branches, male and female branches separately, and those branches further produce male and female structures called antheridia and archegonia, then antherozoites and female gametes. Right. So this is about the basic structure of common moss, which is scientific name is Funaria hygrometrica. Its scientific name is Funaria hygrometrica. So this is the more or less structure of all mosses. Other mosses are Polytrichum, sphagnum are the same, right? But the size of capsule is slightly different, maybe smaller or larger. But the function of both the systems, gametophyte, both the phases like gametophyte and sporophyte are the same, right? Now we will see what are the branches which produce male and female structures on them. We are talking about common moss Funaria, and which is showing common features of all other mosses. So in this case, male branch is called perigonium. Male branch is called perigonium, and female branch is called pericetium. If one plant has both male and female branches, what does it mean? It means Funaria plant is bisexual. Bisexual means it is producing male and female structures on the same plant. Perigonium produces clusters of antheridia. And these clusters of antheridia are covered by perigonial leaves. There are perigonial leaves which are covering these clusters of antheridia. Antheridia is a male structure, and these antheridia they produce antherozoites. In previous video, we have seen the structure of antheridia, that is a racket-like structure having multicellular stalk and having compartments. These compartments each compartment then transforms into an antherozoid having nucleus. So antherozoid has, in this case, it has two flagella. They are biflagellated. Antherozoid, it is the nucleus of the male gamete. Now pericetium is the female branch. It produces clusters of archegonia. Archegonia is female structure, and it is surrounded or protected by. It is protected by pericetial leaves. Here we can also say that clusters of antheridia are protected by. Right? And each archegonium produces one female gamete by each archegonium. Fine. Antherozoites are produced in very large number, but archegonia के case में each archegonium consists of one female gamete which is located in its in the center. Now, if you remember structure of archegonium that we discussed in the last video, I'll make it again. It consists of a long neck and a round venter base, and this long neck consists of 6 to 10 neck canal cells, lead cells which cover it. Right? It remains filled with mucilage, and here what is housed? Female gamete. Archegonia and Theridia structure are more or less same in all types of mosses or even bryophytes, we can say. So after the formation of antherozoid and this, there is time for fertilization. After this fertilization, the fertilization के time पर these antherozoids they move through the film of water with the help of flagella and they take entry from here. At the time of entry, what will happen? Lid cells dissolve, all the neck canal cells disintegrate, and these cells after disintegration they form a passage. This passage is containing mucilage now. This mucilage consists of a sugar, right? That sugar has characteristic smell which attracts these antherozoids towards the female gamete. When this antherozoid reaches to female gamete, there will be fusion of both of them and it will affect the process of fertilization. After fertilization, we know in all sexually reproducing organisms, one cell is produced. That cell is the product of fusion of male and female gametes, that is antherozoid and egg cell. In दोनों का fusion that will give rise to a cell which is called zygote. With the formation, this female and male gamete both are having haploid number of chromosomes, that is n number of chromosomes. So when there will be fusion of n plus n, it will give rise to 2n, which is called diploid structure, and zygote is the first cell of life in all sexually reproducing organisms. Zygote will start growing into embryo, and this embryo is dependent on gametophyte. That means embryo which is going to grow and to form is sporophyte, that is dependent on gametophyte. Sporophyte in its mature form consists of 3 parts: foot,
इस पे एक OTP आया होगा,
seta
बाहर कोई आपके लिए कुछ डिलीवरी लाया है
and capsule.
रिकॉर्डिंग चल रही है.
These are two, ask him to come after 10 minutes. Sterile parts, they have nothing to do with reproduction. They are just supporting organs. Seta, foot and seta, they had helped sporophyte to attach to the gametophyte and withdraw water and other nutrients from the gametophyte and supply them to capsule. So they are accessory, we can say they are accessory organs or structures of the sporophyte. Capsule is the fertile part which will further produce spores. Now we will see the process of spore formation, or what are the cells present in the sporophyte, in the capsule, and how do they produce spores. We will start from capsule here. Capsule consists of spore mother cells, and spore mother cells are diploid. They undergo meiosis, and after meiosis they form spore tetrads. These are the group of 4 spores which dissociate from each other and they form spores. Spores are the product of meiosis, that is a reductional division. So number of chromosome is reduced to half in these spores. That means the spores will contain now n number of chromosome. Right? Now here we will see the general structure, very generalized structure of a capsule. Although this capsule is a highly cellular structure, which is, this was the foot seta and this is capsule, right? If you will see the structure of this capsule, the bigger one, you will find this shape This part is called operculum, or it is mentioned calyptra also in NCERT. Fine. This part is theta part. I will not take into consideration the other parts which are not in your syllabus. I will tell you only about this structure which is important. This is all cellular part and it is called spore sac. Spore sac consists of, covered by a membrane. It consists of spores. These spores are first in the form of spore mother cells, and later on these spore mother cells, I told you, undergo meiosis and they form spores. Spores are haploid structures. So this entire structure is capsule. This part is theta. It consists of parenchymatous conducting strand also. Conducting tissue. I am giving you a very generalized form of the capsule just to have an idea कि what are the things present inside the capsule. It has a spore sac. Spore sac produces spores from spore mother cells, right? Then these spores, when weather becomes dry, this calyptra or operculum opens and releases spores. Spores, after dispersal from the spore sac, are distributed in the air. Whenever they fall on in the soil, they absorb moisture and they start germinating. What happens when a spore germinates? When a spore on germination, it produces a structure called protonema. If you remember in Markensia, spores directly produce gametophyte. They grow into gametophyte. But in case of mosses, spores do not directly give rise to gametophyte. They first grow into a very small leafy structure that is called protonema. This protonema consists of some buds on it. These buds germinate and they form another structure, secondary protonema. Both of these grow on the land. They are in the soil. They are leafy structures, prostrate form, and it produces secondary buds. These secondary buds, they further grow into the gametophyte, which is actually called leafy gametophyte. So we started our life cycle from gametophyte and we have finally reached to the gametophyte after the growth of secondary buds, primary and secondary. These buds are also simply called vegetative buds. Primary buds, secondary buds, which are produced on the primary protonema and secondary protonema, are called vegetative buds. These vegetative buds are capable of giving rise to leafy gametophyte on germination. And then gametophyte grows, and when it reaches to maturity, it again starts bearing perigonium and pericytium branches, male and female branches, and this way the cycle continues. Now we will see the sketch of life cycle pattern quickly. Stages one after the other. It starts from gametophyte. Gametophyte is the dominant phase in mosses. Forms perigonium, pericytium. Learn carefully. Sometimes students write opposite, right? Perigonium is male branch, pericytium is female branch. That will produce antheridia. Antheridia will produce antherozoites. Antherozoites will undergo fusion with female gametes. So antheridia here, it is producing archegonia. Archegonia से female gamete. Both of them undergo fusion and they form zygote. Zygote grows into embryo. Embryo forms sporophyte. ठीक है, these all are haploid and from here diploid phase starts. So sporophyte is diploid. Now this sporophyte consists of capsule. Capsule produces SMCs. SMCs are spore mother cells. These cells undergo meiosis and form spores. Spores from protonema. Protonema produces buds. These buds form secondary protonema. Secondary protonema again produces buds, and these buds grow into gametophyte. So it is the N phase, or it is the haploid phase up to this point, and it starts haploid phase from here after meiosis. So we can divide it this way. This entire phase of the bryophyte moss is haploid phase, and this entire phase is diploid phase. Right? So what is the life cycle pattern? This life cycle pattern is haplodiplontic type of life cycle pattern, and it is a life cycle pattern of Funaria or common moss. Apart from Funaria, there are other examples of these bryophytes. Other examples are, I am writing here, is Sphagnum and Polytrichum. If you will study the economic importance of mosses, they are very, very important for plant kingdom, because when plant succession starts, succession means when life begins in a new area. These are they call after lichens. Mosses or bryophytes are the plants which colonize a new area or which invade in a new area. They add lots of humus and soil, the organic matter, and enrich the soil fertility. This is all about life cycle or events of mosses. Learn it properly. Keep learning and keep watching. In next part, we will study about pteridophytes. Thank you.